Gametime Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time.
Now I'm coming home again, man, home again. Baby, do you remember when fireworks at Lake Michigan? Oh, 'cause I'm coming home again, man, home again. Whenever I hear that song, I always think of Chicago. And why am I saying that song? Because the Montreal Canadiens are playing the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Smash the like button as well. Follow us on our social media pages. @HockeyPodNet is the Insta and Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, @GrantAkeem is my Twitter handle, and Instagram and TikTok, however long that lasts. I don't know if that's going to last that much longer. We shall see. Also, thank you to the sponsors as well, Gametime and DraftKings. Use promo code THPN for both. And with Gametime, you get $20 off your first purchase, which is incredible. If you want to see the Canadiens in person or the Blackhawks in person, like a lot of people in Chicago are doing tonight, which is lovely, you can go right ahead and get $20 off, which is incredible. Right, puck is dropped. Let me get immersed in the headphones. I think they're synced. They're connected. Yes, they are. I appreciate everybody tuning in on this Friday night. There's plenty of other things that you could be doing tonight, and I'm very grateful that you're here with me. Get your score predictions in the chat as well. If I'm a betting man tonight, it's got to be Montreal. Chicago coming off that poor performance against the St. Louis Blues in that Winter Classic on New Year's Eve. We can talk about that later. Why was it played on New Year's Eve? I don't understand. It's always been a New Year's Day tradition. Why was it on New Year's Eve? I don't know. But a very poor performance. I watched about the first 2 periods of it, and then I got ready for the big game that night was USA Canada in the World Juniors. Hence why I'm wearing my USA hockey hat, because, as you know, I am American, and the World Juniors is just the best time of the year. And we can talk about it later. But those Canadiens, what's going on with you guys? Hockey Canada, 2 years in a row, knocked out in the quarterfinals to the same exact team and lost in the same exact fashion. A late goal by Czechia, like 30 seconds left in both games, back-to-back years. And you're out. I sounded Canadian there. You're out. You're out of the tournament, Canada. But we'll get starting lineups here shortly. Turn this up. I can barely hear. Yes, let's focus on Montreal and Chicago today. We'll see if Chicago can get anything done. This is a big game for Montreal, and we talk about that. We'll look at the standings shortly. Let's do lineups, because I always forget to do lineups. Let me get a sip of the water. Here we go. We'll start with the visiting Montreal Canadiens. We'll start with Cole Caulfield. We love Cole Caulfield. Nick Suzuki, Slafkovsky, your first line. All those guys. I'm not sure if Nick Suzuki played in the World Juniors, but obviously Cole Caulfield did and Slafkovsky did. Oh, we got a delayed penalty on Montreal, so Chicago to the power play. Let's see what the call is from the ref. Oh, the double whammy for Montreal. Struble and Jack-Eye are both going to the box for separate penalties. Struble for slashing and Jack-Eye for tripping. Wow. That's very rare to see that. You get double punished on the same play. So Chicago's going to go 5-on-3 here. Like a minute into this game. So we'll see if they can cash in here. Of course, you got Connor Bedard on the ice as well. But let's watch this, and then we can get back to lineups. Because I sense a goal is going to come for Chicago. Oh, Bedard for Bertuzzi, and can't get it to go. But everybody at home, get your score predictions in. I was going to make my score predictions, but I got sidetracked. Let's go for a... It's got to be Montreal. Let's go... It's going to be high scoring, too. I'll go 5-3 Montreal. I think it'll be a pretty high scoring game tonight. But who knows? Maybe Montembeault and Soderblom will stay on their heads tonight. And we'll have a shutout game. Shutout hockey. Okay, we got a break. Let's quickly do the rest of the lineups here. Pizzetta, Kirby Dach. We love Kirby Dach. If he scores, we're going to do the dance. You know it. Alex Newhook. Third line of Gallagher, Dvorak, and Anderson. Fourth line of Armia, Evans, and Heineman. Defense of Hudson. His younger brother is playing for Team USA. Good luck here for Bertuzzi. Falls for Teravainen up top. Shot from Jones gets blocked. A minute 5 to go here on this 5-on-3. Here's Bedard. Still Bedard. Oh, backdoor for Foligno, and he can't get it to go. Back up for Bedard. For Jones. Teravainen. Bedard. Good one-touch passing between all three of those guys. They got to shoot it at some point, though. Oh, they score! Tyler Bertuzzi. It was going to happen at some point. All three of those guys. It was Teravainen, Jones, and Bedard were just playing tic-tac-toe with it. They finally get it down low. I think it was Foligno. We'll look at the replay. And then he found Tyler Bertuzzi backdoor. That was Teravainen, excuse me, with the little sauce pass. Mike Matheson tried to block it like a goaltender, and he couldn't, and it goes right to Bertuzzi. Yeah, you got to feel for Montembeault. There's absolutely nothing as a goaltender you could do there unless you have, I don't know, rubber hips and you're that flexible. Or you're like Elastigirl from The Incredibles. Nothing you can do. Okay, so... Because there was a goal scored, Chicago is still in the power play, but it's just 5-on-4 now. For 37 seconds. But good start for Chicago. They had to cash in on a 5-on-3. If they didn't, that would have been a big ball buster or blue balls moment. We'll see if they can nick another one here late on this power play. Bedard, Bertuzzi. Oh, they do the same play for Bertuzzi, and he just misfired. And Montreal got to do a better job at clogging the middle of the ice. They do there, and that will do it for the power play. So they get a goal. Big goal for Chicago. At this point, Chicago, I don't know what you're thinking. If playoffs, obviously, is not going to happen. If you're a fan, you're probably hoping you tank again to get a better draft pick. But there's still some good players on Chicago for sure, definitely. But here, let's finish these lineups. So we left on defense. So we got Mike Matheson, Lane Hudson, who I mentioned his brother is playing for Team USA at the World Juniors. They skate exactly the same. It's crazy how similar they skate. It's incredible. And you have Carrier, Goulet, Strubel, sounds German. Wonder if he is from Germany. Jack-Eye, and then in net you have Samuel Montembeault, who I love his leg pads. If you've done a stream with me before with Montreal, his leg pads are perfect. I love his leg pads. For the home team, the Chicago Blackhawks, you got Tyler Bertuzzi, Connor Bedard, and Mikheyev, who I liked a lot from Toronto. If that is the same Mikheyev, right? I don't know why it wouldn't be. It has to be the same Mikheyev. Big fan of his. It could be another Mikheyev. I don't know. Taylor Hall, Dickinson, Nick Foligno, Your second line, El Capitan, Felino. You got the other Doc. I almost said Kirby Doc. It's this younger brother Doc. Oh, we got a fight. Pat Maroon and Jack Guy are going to go have a little tussle here. I wonder what started this. Jack Guy punches the ear of Maroon. He punched his ear to death. I wonder if he's deaf now, Pat Maroon. He really punched his ear very hard. Jack Guy's looking at his knuckles. I think he's okay. Wow, I've never seen a man pummel someone else's ear that aggressively in my entire life. Jack Guy just did that to Pat Maroon. Just aggressively in the ear. There's no way that felt good. Both get assessed 5 minutes penalties for fighting. We need to see the replay. How did this start? Yeah, they talked about it for a second there, and it must have been predetermined as well. They're like they were gonna fight at some point in this game tonight, and then they were like, okay, let's just do it now. So yeah, there you go. Honestly, I need your thoughts at home about the fighting. Do you like the fighting in the NHL? I don't mind it if it happens from like a scrum, right? Or someone does something dirty and then a fight happens. But like if it's one of those predetermined, like right off the face off, or like, you know, one of those ones, I'm not a big fan of it because it just ruins kind of the flow of the game. And if the players can't take off their helmets too, I don't see the point of fighting because all you're doing is punching the guy's helmet. You're punching plastic and you're punching pads. It's just like, what's the point? You're just literally going to ruin your knuckles because you're just punching plastic the whole time. But I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm just saying for those like predetermined off the face-off ones, I'm not a big fan of. But if it happens off of scrum or a dirty play, that's fine. Whatever. But let them take the helmets off. I think it's stupid. You're punching plastic, like I said. But let me know your thoughts at home about that. But as we were saying, it's taken forever to do these lineups because stuff is happening in this game. We have his younger brother. What's his first name? Colton Doc. So yeah, it is the younger brother of Kirby Doc. So that's got to be fun for the Doc family tonight. I wonder if the mom has like one of those jerseys where it's like half Chicago, half Montreal. Well, what's crazy is that Kirby was with the Blackhawks, so you could have had Kirby and Colton on the same team together. But it didn't happen. Then we have, is that Mr. Frank Nazar out of the University of Michigan? Yes, so this is the draft pick. If you're an Islanders fan out there, this is very niche. This is the draft pick that the Islanders gave up for, what's-his-face? Alexander Romanov in that 3-team trade back at the draft a couple of years ago. I wish we would have kept it. Obviously, Nazar is a great player. But, you know, Romanov is Romanov. I guess I'd rather have Nazar, but I do like Romanov. I digress. And then you have Teravainen. Your fourth line is Maroon Donato. I think he went to Harvard in college. Shout out Harvard. Here's Seth Jones. Shot goes wide. 12:44 to go here. Then you have Smith. And then in defense, or on defense, you have Kaiser. Wyatt Kaiser. That name sounds very familiar. I'm sure I know him from somewhere. USA or something. Seth Jones. Vlasic. Crevier. Allen. Brody TJ. Is that his actual last name? TJ Brody. Oh, it is listed it weirdly. TJ Brody, of course. The veteran. And then in net, you have Soderblom. Mrazek gets a rest. He gave up, 6 to St. Louis, so probably good that he gets a rest. We'll see how Soderblom does tonight. He has a shutout so far. Montreal's offsides here. Okay, stats. There you go. The stats are up. But yeah, with 11:58 to go, we'll take a TV timeout with Bertuzzi with the goal if you're just tuning in. 1-0 Chicago. Comments. Angus says, hi, Grant. How are you doing? I'm doing great, Angus. Had the day off. Slept in. well rested. Just ate, I don't know, a couple hours ago, something light, so I feel good. After this stream, I'm probably gonna, I don't know, walk on the treadmill for a little, have some dinner, keep it chill tonight, nothing crazy. But yeah, hope you're having a nice Friday night, Angus, and everybody watching. Nothing better than watching hockey on a Friday night, in my opinion, with all your best buddies. It's the best. Even if it is, you know, a Chicago matchup, even though they're not playing the best. I do want to look at the standings, people, because I kind of jokingly said, I think the last time we did a Montreal game, like, oh, they're getting close to the playoff line. Look out for Montreal. You do have to look out for Montreal. Let's be honest, people. Their last 10 games, Montreal is 7-3-0. They're currently on a 3-game winning streak. They are only 3 points behind the Ottawa Senators for that last playoff spot. So you do have to worry about the Montreal Canadiens. It's no joke now. They're only 3 points back of being in the postseason, which would be an incredible feat. Definitely something that none of us thought they would do this season. But there's something clicking in Montreal. I give that credit to Martin St. Louis. I'm liking, obviously, Patrick Laine. He's not in the lineup, though, tonight. So I don't know if is he hurt? I haven't been paying close attention. Laine has an illness, it says, so that's unfortunate. But he's been electric since coming back from injury, Patrick Laine. Montembeault, I think, has played pretty good. So it's all clicking for Montreal right now. So yeah, these are the games for Montreal. If you want to make the postseason, you got to beat the crap teams around you. So a win here tonight would let them be a point back of a playoff spot, which would be amazing. And if you are a Montreal fan, I'm assuming the plan was not to make the postseason this year. So you'd be very happy. And then Chicago, in their last 10, the exact opposite of Montreal. 3-7-0, have lost 5 in a row. 12-24-2 record with 26 points. Dead last in the West. They got to be dead last in the entire league, right? And yes, they are. 26 points. Dead last. I tell you what, the New York Islanders are pretty close, though. They're 35 points. They're 5th to last in the NHL. So all you Islander fans out there on Twitter who are happy with what's going on and like the veteran first method versus developing prospects and rebuilding that way, who would you rather be, the Islanders or the Montreal Canadiens? I'd rather be Montreal. So that's my one jab at Islanders Twitter tonight. That's my one jab, and I'll stop because this is a Montreal stream. Angus says punching equipment is caveman-like. Well, that's what they do in the NHL. They punch equipment. Unless you're like Ryan Reeves or Matt Martin. Is there anyone else who was grandfathered in without having to wear a visor? I think that's about it. I can't think of anyone else. I remember Leo Komarov, he wore the visor, but his visor was like up here. He tilted it like up so it covered his like hairline, but not his actual eyes. So I guess if you fought Leo Komarov, you could actually punch him in the face. But everyone else, unless you punch them in the jaw, like you're just hitting plastic. While we were talking there, Chicago is on a power play again. They are 1 for 2 tonight. If you're just tuning in, it was Tyler Bertuzzi with the goal on the 5-on-3, which I've seen that maybe a handful of times where they'll call 2 penalties on one play. Oh, it's there! Doc couldn't get it to go. Wow, if his younger brother scores, do we still do the dance? Colton, Doc, we might have to. Here's Doc! Saved by Montembeault. Here's Taylor Hall. Down low shot, and Montembeau is gonna dive and cover it there. And we got another fight behind the net. He's triple teamed. That Chicago player is triple teamed by 3 Montreal players. I mean, some people like getting double teamed, but triple team is a whole other thing, people. My goodness me. If you're into that, good for you, I guess. God bless you if you are. But yeah, good power play again for Chicago. That lots of good looks. Montembeau lost his stick, which is very weird as a goalie. I've had to do that a few times. For I lost my stick. It just feels so weird, especially since I'm pretty new to goaltending. But yeah, good save. He squeezed the puck in his hip in there and kind of fell on it. Face off outside the zone now, maybe because of the fight. I don't know. Yeah, Colton Dock had a couple good looks there. He's kind of a net front guy on that power play. Goza says, yo, Angus, and it's the Montreal Crab Cakes versus the Chicago Black Puddings. There you go. The crab cakes. Never had crab cakes. I've never had crab in my entire life. The only seafood I've ever had is salmon. I think I've had walleye, being from Minnesota, of course. And then I've had cod, which is pretty common. That's about it. I mean, one time there was one summer though that was really fun. My family, my extended family, they have a cabin way up north, in Canada, and we went walleye fishing, and we caught some walleye and actually cooked those fresh walleye up and ate it. It was probably one of the best fish I've ever had because it was so fresh. I literally just caught it. And it was cool. It made me realize that if I was in a life or death situation, I'd survive as long as I have a lake full of fish. I could survive for a little bit. And I needed to eat food. I will say the skinning and all that part is kind of nasty. That's kind of gross. I credit to the people who work at Pike's Place. You ever been to Seattle? I think that's kind of a nasty job. Gutting a fish and cutting the skin off, and I couldn't do it. I don't know if my stomach could handle it. But they taste pretty, they are tasty, I'll be honest. I don't eat fish anymore, but when I did, it was really good. But yeah, so let's do a little out-of-town score update. And people, you got to give me your predictions here. I said 5-3 Montreal. Let me know what you think at home. And if you get it right, if you get it exactly right, you'll win a great big prize. Courtesy of me. You get a big prize. So get your score predictions in. I'll let you know the prize at the end of the night if you do get it correct. Oh, yes, and then I saw that Alex Ovechkin scored again. Last night, I believe. So he's getting closer to Gretzky's record. I don't know the exact number. Someone at home can let me know that. But I just want to see scores. This NHL.com website, everything about the website and the app is just terrible. They really did a poor job with it. But Penguins and Panthers, the Florida Panthers, if you know, you know. That's how some Canadians say the Panthers. Panthers. 1-1 game. That's a big one for Pittsburgh. They're fighting for their lives in the wild card spot in the East. Our game is 1-0. The Blues have a 1-0 lead over the Ottawa Senators. That's a big one. If the Blues need to win, if you're a Montreal fan, Blues need to win that game. And then we got Ducks and Oilers tonight at 9 Eastern, and then Predators Canucks at 10 Eastern in downtown Vancouver. Also, I should have mentioned Happy New Year to everybody watching. It's crazy that it's already been the new year. Holidays are basically over. It's 2025. craziness. Shot there. Steered away by Soderblom. Or Bloom. Anybody have New Year's resolutions you'd like to share? Have you already failed? It's been 3 days. Have you already failed? Any fun plans for 2025? Did you do anything fun on New Year's Eve? Please let me know. We have a delayed penalty on Chicago here. Anderson to Hudson. He's got Matheson. Goes for him. Crap shot by Matheson. I think that was like a peewee shot there by Matheson. Chicago is going to grab it, and it'll be a tripping call, I think, on Tyler Bertuzzi. Seth Jones for tripping. So Montreal to the power play. More of like a hooking. He hooked Kirby Dach, basically. Or holding, you could say. No, but yeah, I had lots of fun on New Year's Eve. That was a great day. Watched the Winter Classic. I slept in, got a workout in, watched the Winter Classic. And then, of course, got ready for that USA-Canada game on New Year's Eve. That was so much fun to watch if you're American. If you're Canadian, what's wrong with your team, man? They're obviously out of the tournament, but that team, I don't think I've ever seen a team have that much lack of discipline in my entire life. All that Canadian team did was take penalty after penalty after penalty. Like, whenever they, scored a goal to tie the game, the next shift they took a penalty and all that momentum went away. That was the story of their tournament. And it's crazy that, obviously it was addressed, but, the players just didn't listen to it. They kept taking stupid penalties. And I'm just baffled. It was really baffling. But happy the Americans won. I loved, shout out Danny Nelson and Cole Eiserman there. When Cole Eiserman scored and he was jawing at the Canadian bench, I thought that was fantastic. Is this the downfall of Hockey Canada? Are we seeing it now? Because Hockey Canada used to be the team to beat at the World Juniors, and now they're just tanking. So, which is, I don't like, because obviously you want Canada to be good for the rivalry purpose of playing the USA Canada. You want that to be a healthy rivalry. If one team sucks, then it's not really fun. So hopefully Canada can get it sorted out for next year, which I'll be at in person because it's in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So we'll definitely have to do some vlog stuff on my YouTube channel for that next year. That'll be lots of fun. I'm going to try and go to every single game if that's possible. I don't know if it is. I heard they were going to stagger the start time, so maybe it will be possible to do it, but I don't know. We'll see if it is or not. Yeah, that penalty, that a couple good looks, Montreal, but nothing that really would challenge Soderblom. Oh, big hit by Anderson there. Wow. This game's getting chippy. This game's got juice. Lots of juice. No icing, says the ref. We got 5:20 to go here in the first period. Your shots are 9-5 for the Chicago Blackhawks. And it'll be icing here. Anybody been to United Center? When I lived there right before COVID, I went to a couple Hawks games. I went to one preseason game, and then I went to it was November, December, early December. I think they were playing the Coyotes that night. And it was fun. I think the first time for the preseason game, we got better seats, so we kind of sat. It wasn't upper deck. It was the one below it. I forgot what that's called there. Club or whatever. It was the middle level. Pretty good seats, not gonna lie. Good save by Soderblom there. Had to squeeze himself on that right post to save that chance. But if you get upper deck seats at United Center, you are miles away. I got nosebleed seats for that Coyotes game in the regular season, those are true nosebleed seats. Like, you're way up there. Like, everybody looks like ants on the ice. So, if you're going to United Center, do your best to get as, lower seats if you can afford it. Because upper deck, you might as well watch it on your phone or stay home and watch it on your TV. But it is cool to be in the arena, I suppose, so. Icing call here on Chicago, 4:14 to go. That's a fun. Chicago's a fun city. Also, I'll keep you updated. We all know the Winter Classic happened on, when was it? New Year's Eve. That was Tuesday, right? It was so weird that the holidays, they fell on weekdays. Like, why was Christmas and New Year's on a Wednesday this year? That's just so random. It really broke up the work week weirdly. And school week, I suppose. But yeah, New Year's Eve, it was a Tuesday. We had the NHL Winter Classic. They capped the ice at Wrigley. So right now, today, it's called like the Big Ten. What's it called? The Confines at Wrigley. Big Ten Hockey Confines at Wrigley. Stupid name, but basically it's just outdoor games for the Big Ten Conference this weekend. So earlier today, we had Michigan and Ohio State. And almost like an exact carbon copy of that Canada-Czechia game from last night. If you watch that game, it was 3-3, and then Czechia scored late to win it. Same thing happened in that game. Ohio State scored a goal with like 30 seconds left in the third. It was 3-3 to make it 4-3. So they won that game. Puck drop for the next game is Penn State and Notre Dame. That's in about 17 minutes, so we can keep you up to date on what's going on with that if you're interested in college hockey. I am definitely going to make a video on my channel about it and about the jersey situation, because I love jerseys and how hideous Michigan's jerseys were and Notre Dame's jerseys are going to be when you see it on the TV. Very poor, very poor. And I'm going to be making a video about the, there's rumors in the NHL about Elias Pettersson going to the Islanders. And I'm not going to air all of my thoughts on it now, but if you know me, you know that I am opposed to that because basically we're going to shop Brock Nelson and then maybe even Danny Nelson, our young prospect who's been killing it for Team USA at the World Juniors. So you're not trading Danny Nelson. I'm sorry. Or Cole Eiserman. There's no way. Those guys, you got to keep those guys. I'm begging Lou Lamoriello to keep those guys. Please, if you trade them, I will cry. I will cry. But stay tuned to my channel if you're interested in any of that. I'll definitely air out my thoughts this weekend about that whole situation. And then we could talk jerseys, because I do love jerseys. 2:30 to go. Offsides, Montreal. TV timeouts, man. Well, then I will say college hockey does a good job of not taking stupid TV timeouts. They only do 2 breaks per period and then do 15-minute intermissions. Games are done in like 2 hours. And I think that's something the NHL should try. Just to make the games go quicker, like kind of what Major League Baseball did. Make the games faster. 2.5 hours is about average MLB game now. Sometimes even 2 hours. You get a quick one. Yeah, I want to look up Ovechkin, since no one told me. Ovechkin goal counts. I love how they have a website just dedicated to this. He is at 871. He's at 871. He's got to get to 894. So let's do math. So that would be 20, would be 91 plus 3. So he needs 23 more to tie Wayne Gretzky, 24 to break it. Which I don't... We're halfway through the year. He needs to get 24 more goals. We're almost halfway. I don't know if that's possible. Do you think it's possible, people at home? Do you think Ovechkin's going to do it this year? I think more likely he's going to do it at the start of next season. I just don't. That's a lot of goals to score in half a season. Oh yeah, Nick Suzuki. That was a big hit. We totally missed that on Allen. Good clean hit by Suzuki. £207 at 5'11". That's crazy. Look out back door. Shot. What a save by Montembeault. Great save by Mr. Samuel. Puck is loose. Montreal has had a tough time with their breakouts tonight. Credit the Blackhawks for that. Here's Lane Hudson. Shot. What a toe save by Soderblom. Hudson. Still Hudson with it. Down low. Suzuki. Wrap around. Can't get it to go. To the point. His shot. It's there. They score! It's Cole Caulfield. Let's go. And it's 1-1. What a great play that was by everybody on the ice. It's Lane Hudson. Literally, one-man rushed in the offensive zone, was circling around, left it for Suzuki, plays it to the point. They find Caulfield down low, and then just cuts in like the honey badger he is, and just roofs it quickly over the blocker of Soderblom. Great goal by Cole. Honey badger don't care. Honey badger don't give a shit. All he does is score goals, says Cole Caulfield. That pesky honey badger. Out of the University of Wisconsin, of course. That's why we call him the honey badger. Danielle says, what's up, everyone? What is up, Danielle? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're having a nice Friday night. I appreciate you tuning in with us. Very grateful. Do we have the goal horns for either of these teams? I probably should have checked before we started tonight. We don't have Chicago's, and we don't have Montreal's. Interesting. We do have Winnipeg's, though. So when we do Jets games, we can do Winnipeg's. And I guess Toronto. No Montreal, though. I'll have to get on that and add that in here. I'll figure that out. Last minute to go here in the first period. Shots are perfect. 10-10 apiece, and it's 1-1. Perfectly even. Good job by Gallagher. Here's Dvorak. Loses the puck. Kaiser will shoot it down. 20th of the year for Cole Caulfield. Suzuki and Matheson with the assists. Oh wow, Cole Caulfield, 14 of his 20 goals scored were on the road this season. That's very surprising. Bedard! Good blocker by Montembeault. That's a huge save. Late in a period, that's huge. That shot deflects wide at the buzzer. Hudson and Bedard are having a little chat. And that'll do it for the first period. Tough start. 5-on-3 to start the period for Montreal. Not what you want. Chicago did capitalize on it. Got their goal courtesy of Tyler Bertuzzi. That was from Teravainen and Bedard. And then I feel like as the period went on, Montreal kind of got their feet under them, got more into the game, grew into the game. And then that last shift they had was great. Lane Hudson, one-man breakout. Who needs the wingers when you have Lane Hudson? Don't need them at all. Just skates it. The Suzuki, Caulfield just poked out like the honey badger. That's the thing with the honey badgers. They pounce really quickly. You know, you're not going to see a honey badger sprint and do a marathon. They pounce, right? That's their specialty, and that's what Cole Caulfield did. Pounce in front of Soderblom and just roofed it within milliseconds, basically. And the shots were 10-10. 11-11. Look at that. Deuces or not deuces. The ones are wild on the scoreboard. 11-11, 1-1. Make a wish. And it'll come true probably. Hopefully it does. My wish, since it's 1-1 and 11-11, my wish is USA wins gold at the World Juniors. That's my wish. Hopefully it comes true. We can talk about that later because the groups for next year are decided on how you finish. And of course, the tournament organizers can kind of manipulate matchups if they want to boost attendance. So who knows? Maybe no matter what, we're going to get US and Canada in the same group next year. But who knows? Because basically, I'm going to the World Juniors next year because it's in Minneapolis and St. Paul. And I want US-Canada in the same group on New Year's Eve. I think everybody wants that again. Because that was so much fun. Because US-Canada hadn't happened on New Year's Eve in, what? I think it was 2016. That the last time that happened. USA-Canada on New Year's Eve. So that's too long. I was a junior in high school in 2016. So that needs to change. So hopefully it happens again next year. Because that'd be great. Well, all right, that was a fun period. Let's take a bit of our own TV timeouts here. We'll let the sponsors identify themselves and do their thing. If you are new to this channel, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, smash the like button as well if you're enjoying yourself. Share this video out to your friends and your family. If your buddies have nothing to do tonight, tell them to hop in on the stream, chat it up. You can dish about different hockey things or anything really. Just not football. I know nothing about football, so if you mention NFL to me, I'll just agree with you and nod and act like I know what I'm talking about, when in reality, I don't. Or NBA, too. I don't watch basketball. Not a big basketball person. Mainly baseball, hockey, soccer, the sports I can watch and I like. But yeah, share the video out with as many people as you'd want. Make sure you follow us on our social media pages. @HockeyPodNet is the Insta and Twitter. Check me out on Twitter. Akron Hakeem is my Twitter handle and my YouTube handle and everything. Instagram, TikTok, the TikTok. It's going away at some point, but while we still have it, I guess I'll still plug it. Thank you to the sponsors as well, Gametime and DraftKings. Use the same promo code THPN for both. With Gametime, you get $20 off your first purchase. If you want to see a game in person, any sporting event, I don't know if they do concerts. I think it's just sporting events. Get $20 off your first purchase, which is amazing because ticket prices are crazy now. They're very crazy. But yeah, so let's step aside here. Let the sponsors identify themselves. We'll be back for the start of the second period in about 10 or so minutes. We'll see you then. Grab some snacks and do what you got to do. We'll see you.
Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Gametime Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time.
Hello, everybody, and we're back for the start of the second period. Puck has just dropped. Let's get your stats back up. Hope everyone had a good intermission. Let me know what you did. Did you get some snacks? Did you just hang out? I filled my water bottle up. Did some stretching. Because you gotta stay limber. Gotta stay fit. I do stand, if you are curious, I do stand if you're new. I've told you this before many times if you've seen me before, but I have a standing desk kind of set up with two monitors on either side. I'm standing on a balance board just to work on my balance. So if you see me bobbing and weaving, I'm not broadcasting from a cruise ship in the Bahamas or in Alaska or anything. It's just the balance board. So that's why if you see me bob and weave, that's what's happening. There was one time, I don't know if it was on this channel or my channel, where I was streaming. I think it was my channel because I game like this too. I'm standing on the balance board and I'm gaming too, which is I think I deserve some sort of YouTube award for doing that. I don't know if there's many other YouTubers who play video games standing and on a balance board when you can't hold on to your desk or anything. I'm literally just using my legs and core strength, I guess, just to balance and game. So anyways, one time I was gaming and I fell over because something happened in the game, so did hurt myself, but I've yet to completely fall on my ass. That has yet to happen, so I'm sure it will at some point. If it does, it'll get clipped up and put on YouTube, so, or TikTok, or whatever the kids use these days. Probably TikTok. Yeah, it's still 1-1. If you're tuning in, we had Bertuzzi with the first goal for Chicago. That was on a 5-on-3. And then Montreal scored kind of towards the end of the period. It was Cole Caulfield, the Honey Badger, to make it 1-1. And then, by the way, if you are curious, Penn State Notre Dame at Wrigley has started as well. So we can keep you updated with that game. If you're into college hockey like I am. Maybe you're not. Here's Bertuzzi, Bedard. A little nice glove save there by Mr. Samuel Montembeault. I've really liked him. Of the streams that we've done, when I've been able to kind of watch him a lot, I've really liked what I've seen out of Montembeault. I wouldn't say he's like a starter on any team. Obviously, I think he's still relatively young, so maybe he'll get better, but he's a solid. I consider him like a solid NHL goalie. I won't consider him like an all-star starter, but he's a solid NHL goalie. I think it's Samuel Montembeault. But Montreal, they do have a goalie upcoming. I think somebody talked about it on the last stream we did for Montreal. It was Cam Fowler, correct? I think he was drafted by Montreal. Not Cam Fowler, the goalie. The goalie for Fowler, the goalie. What's his first name? Jacob Fowler. I get Cam Fowler or Jacob Fowler mixed up. Jacob Fowler. He's in was on the World Juniors last year, and now he plays he's too old and he's on Boston College now. Yeah, drafted by Montreal, and I really like what I see out of Jacob Fowler, so I'm assuming that's Montreal's future goalie right there is Jacob Fowler. But here's Maroon. Wow, look at that backhand toe drag. Trying to find Donato backdoor. That didn't go at all. And very poorly, actually, went in the corner. Here's Seth Jones. So we have the lawn change of the second, so we got some tired Montreal Canadiens out there on the ice. That shot! Montembeault's going to cover. It was loose. And it's poked in by Donato. But the referee blew the whistle too soon. And it's going to be no goal. Well, Montembeault had it, and Donato kept poking, and that's how he jabbed it free. So, I think either way, if there was not a whistle, I don't think it would have counted. But Pat Maroon, look at that skill. I didn't think Pat Maroon had that in his arsenal, the little backhand toe drag action. But yeah, he had it covered. Actually, did he, though? He had it covered in the initially, and then Donato poke checked it free, and then he never really covered it after that. So maybe it was a quick whistle by the referee. But I don't mind it. You know, as a goalie, I love helping out the goalie, so that's fine with me. Still 1-1. What's crazy is that at the World Juniors, there were so many reviews for plays, not necessarily like that, but I remember Canada got a penalty against Latvia when Feldbergs touched the puck, the goalie for Latvia. He touched the puck, covered it, and then one of Canada's forwards literally just kind of gave him a little love tap on his glove, and they called that like a slashing call. That happened quite a bit in that tournament. They really protected the goalies in the World Juniors, which is good, obviously. To that degree, though, I think that was a bit of an excessive call, but it is the World Juniors in the referees. Jack Isle setting in deep here. 15:50 to go here in the second. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new, subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, smash a like button. Click that bell icon so you're notified whenever we do go live on this channel. We have you covered for regular season. The Four Nations tournament, that's happening, I think, mid to late February. I don't know the exact dates, but that is upcoming. We will do some streams for it. We'll see if I am going to do some streams for it. I might not. This depends on my schedule in February. Obviously, postseason as well. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's about everything else that's left on the hockey calendar. I suppose there's the World Hockey Championships. We might do some streams for that on here if you're into that. You're really going to be into that if your team has been eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs, because a lot of your players then would probably be in that tournament. That's usually how that goes. But no, I love the World Hockey Championships. It's a very fun tournament, very balanced tournament. It's where you see a lot of the smaller countries beat, the Canadas and the US's of the world, because the US and Canada players, their best guys are obviously in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So it is a fun tournament. Latvia, I think, beat the US last year for bronze in that tournament, which is great for Latvia. Latvian hockey is on the rise. Latvian hockey, bronze at the World Hockey Championships last year. Beat Canada at the World Juniors a week ago. If you were with me last week on the Friday, that was an epic night. Caulfield shot here. Easy save for Soderblom. But shout out Latvia. If you're a Latvian hockey fan out there, look out for Latvia. They're on the rise. Especially that Matejko kid. Holy shnikes. Matejko kid for Latvia and Feldbergs. They've been electric. Donnell says, "Hey, sir, what is up, man? Happy New Year to you and the rest of your family." Thank you, Donnell. Basically celebrated alone for the most part. Besides, it was just me and my lovely father. My mom couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle being up past like 10, so it was basically just me and my father. But I appreciate it, Donnell. It was still lots of fun. US beat Canada. I can't think of a better way to, start the new year than that. That was amazing. Great game. I loved how feisty that game was. If anybody watched that game at home, that USA-Canada game on New Year's Eve, very feisty, and I loved it. Unfortunate that, we won't see a rematch. Hopefully next year we get a rematch on New Year's Eve, but, Canada losing to Czechia, what are you going to do? Their fault. That's their own damn fault. Stop taking penalties. Didn't know you would be doing the live stream. I know a lot of people don't know when I'm going to be live. I'm very sneaky like that. I'm very sneaky. You see Montreal pop up, you don't know who you're getting. It's like a jack in the box. They score! Kaiser! And it's 2-1 Chicago. Just like that. Just a simple little wrister from the point, and it somehow beat Montembeault. Chicago regains the lead. This goal song. Da 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 da. I've gotten back and forth on it. When I was younger, I thought it was cool. As I've gotten older, it's kind of annoying. I think they got to change it. It's not my favorite. I get it's iconic in Chicago, but it's not my favorite. Oh, it was tipped. So Kaiser, little wrister from the point, and Nick Foligno with the tip. That's why I got past Montembeault. Because I was going to say that's a simple save all day for Montembeault. But it was tipped by Foligno. So it is Foligno's goal. 2-1 Chicago on their 17th shot. Oh, chance for Montreal. Almost answered right away. And this is a big game for Montreal people. If you're just tuning in the standings right now, Montreal is only 3 points back of a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference for that final wild card spot. So, and if Montreal, if they want to make the postseason, you got to beat the crap teams in the NHL like Chicago, literally the worst team in the NHL. Evans can't get that one to go. You got to get 2 points tonight. I don't care if it's in a shootout or OT. You got to get 2 points. Soderblom's going to cover at 11:57 to go, and we'll take a TV timeout. I like speaking with a Canadian accent. We got to be happy with that Team Canada loss again, says Donnell. Yeah. I mean, I had mixed feelings about it, to be honest. Like, obviously, seeing Canada lose is amazing. I think it's funny. But at the same time, the other part of me was hoping that they won and we met in the gold medal game, because I think that'd be fun, obviously. But it's funny. It is really funny that they lost in the same exact way that they did last year to Czechia. It's like Groundhog Day. And what's even more crazy, that was the first time Canada lost in the quarterfinals back-to-back years ever in the history of the World Juniors. Think about that. That's the first time that's ever happened for Canada. And to add on top of it, that's already, if it's not embarrassing enough for Canada, the past 2 years, and I guess it's been like 4 years now, 5 years, Russia has not been in the tournament. So you could argue that the tournament is weaker without Russia in it, and that they haven't been able to make it past the quarterfinals in back-to-back years. One thing I will say, though, Czechia, they used to be Czech Republic, but Czechia, they have significantly improved since Russia has left the tournament. Like, they used to be a team that, like, they'd be like a sneaky kind of dark horse team. Like, some years they'd be really good. Some years they would, finish in 6th or 7th. But for the most part, they were a team that, like, if you didn't bring your A game, they would beat you. And the game would be competitive, obviously. But these past few years, like Czechia, they're like legit contenders every year to win that tournament. And I credit the development program. I don't know what they do in Czechia, but it's working. A lot of these younger kids, maybe it's because they're playing in Canadian leagues in the CHL or in OHL. And I know there's some NCAA guys who are on that team. Amazing stuff that they're doing with hockey in Czechia. It's significantly improved, since I was a kid, maybe like 10 years ago. So very good stuff. And USA has got to play, Czechia tomorrow night. That's a 7:30 Eastern Standard Time game. And as an American, I'm like sort of nervous, but like I know we can beat them. If the US is on their A game, we can handle Czechia. I'm not too worried about it. The only team, honestly, that I'm worried about not being able to beat is Finland. I feel like Finland has been a bit of a thorn in the USA side. Like, they're kind of our bogey team. Like, the style that Finland plays is just something the US just cannot figure out. It happened in 2019 in Vancouver. They lost in that gold medal game to Finland. I think we got knocked out. The last time we were knocked out, it was by Finland. So they're kind of like our bogey team. So I'm assuming, honestly, I think Finland's going to win that first semifinal game against Sweden because Sweden never wins anything. Let's be honest. It's probably going to be Finland. And let me know your prediction at home too. What you think is going to happen at the World Juniors. I'm assuming it's going to be Finland and then the U.S. in the gold medal game, and then that game's like I have no idea what's going to happen. Because like I said, Finland is the bogey team for the U.S. But I think we can do it. We have a good enough team. We have so much firepower. That Boston College line of like Perot. I forgot the other guy's name. Perot, another guy, and then Ryan Leonard. That line's great. Zeev Buium on defense has been great. Danny Nelson, Cole Iserman, and then Trey Augustine. What a stud that kid is in net for the U.S. Oh my gosh. Absolute stud, Trey Augustine. So if we can get the goaltending, I think we can win gold again, which would be the first time the United States has done that in back-to-back World Juniors. Think about that, folks. Never happened for the United States, so we'd be making history. And then next year, when it's in my hometown, we'll three-peat, and I'll be able to see that in person. Knock on wood. Knock on wood that happens. But yeah, that's my prediction. Actually, I didn't. Let's do. I think U.S. will do it. I think we'll beat Finland. We'll avenge our loss in OT. In the group stage to Finland in the gold medal on Sunday. I think that's what will happen. But let me know what you think at home if you agree with me or don't. And then Donnell said, is that a Adidas Canadiens jersey a blank? Yes, it is a blank. No one on the back. It was dirt cheap on NHL.com, and they only had one more size 52 left, which is my size. So I was like, gotta snag it. Gotta grab it. So I did. I did order one of those St. Louis Blues Winter Classic jerseys because those are really sick. I got a Nicoletti Blues one because I'm a big Nicoletti fan. I don't have a Blues Letty jersey, so I thought that'd be a cool one to have. So I got a Nicoletti Winter Classic one. That's coming soon, hopefully. It's too bad they couldn't, get those in time for the game, but it is what it is. We got about 9:28 to go here in the second. It's still 2-1 Chicago. But here comes Anderson, 2-on-1. It's loose, and Soderblom is going to save. He's going to cover it. Wow. Good look there for Montreal. I think 9:20 left in this period. Man, I don't know. Anderson, I think he had the other guy open. He should have passed it. Everyone was saying that people didn't know that the Winter Classic was on, but the NHL did a bad idea putting the game on New Year's Eve. I 1,000% agree with you, Donnell. I think the attendance numbers came out today. It was under 1 million for the first time ever. Yeah, I mean, great setup. I think having it at Wrigley was awesome. The scenes outside with all the fan fest and all that kind of stuff was amazing. Obviously on the ice, it looks beautiful. I love the setup that they have with like the Chicago River going down the middle, and you have the bridges going across, connecting it. I think that's great. I think the problem is that Chicago sucks. The team sucks. And the St. Louis Blues aren't necessarily like a national team that's like marketable. The Chicago is for sure, but they suck. And not many people want to watch that. And the Blues is like a small market team. Obviously, they're a pretty solid team. They handle Chicago pretty well. And then on top of that, they played it on New Year's Eve. And I did some deep dive in on the internet to figure out why they had it on New Year's Eve. And yes, Donnell, you answered my question here. I guess the NHL didn't want to put the game competing with college football playoffs. That's the problem with the NHL, is that they don't market the sport. Yeah, so I don't understand why why would you think that, oh, college football is on New Year's Day? We need, as the NHL, our New Year's Day tradition, let's move it to a different day to get more views. When they're two separate sports of two separate leagues, you have college and you have like professional NHL Winter Classic. Like, I don't know about you guys, but if you're a hockey fan, wouldn't you rather watch on New Year's Day the Winter Classic versus college football? And maybe you don't, and that's just me. I'm not a football fan, so maybe that's just me. But I just would think schedule it with the World Juniors, right? You'd want to, because as a hockey fan, you want to match it with the hockey calendar. The reason why, like, I always thought they put it on New Year's Day was that there was no hockey at all happening in like North America. It was the day off, and it's always the day off in the World Juniors. They always get New Year's Day off. It's like their rest day before the quarterfinals start on January 2nd, right? There's no college hockey going on, and NHL, there might be like one or two other games, and like it was the marquee day, to watch the Winter Classic on New Year's Day. So I don't quite understand it, why they had to compensate for college football. It's just stupid, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I had no idea. I just assumed it was on New Year's Day, and I was ready to watch it on New Year's Day. And then last second, I was like, oh shit, it's today. It's at 4 o'clock today. I gotta tune into it. But, whatever. I think if they put better teams in it, it'd get more views. But have they announced next year's idea, or what they're going to do next year? NHL Winter Classic. I doubt they would have by now. Yeah, no. At people at home, what's like your dream spot for the 2026 Winter Classic? Also, it was funny that it was the 2025 Winter Classic, and it took place on December 31st of 2024, because that makes sense. Oh, Bedard! Did he hit the post? I heard a little clank from Connor Bedard. Armia trying to bust in. I think that's a funny expression in hockey to say. He busts in. That's usually in a different context. That means a totally different thing. Wink, wink. Here's Suzuki. Cole Caulfield, the Honey Badger. His shot saved by Soderblom. 6:45 to go. There's this article that I'm reading that Gary Bettman apparently hinted that the next Winter Classic could be in Miami. Which, how would that work, Mr. Gary Bettman? The Florida Panthers hosting? It'd have to be in a retractable stadium or something. According to sources, it will either be Northeast rivals, the Boston Bruins, or New York Rangers. And it looks like it's going to be the Rangers. But nothing is official. The belief is also that the Winter Classic will take place on New Year's Eve again because of the college football playoff. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Gary Bettman. Oh, if we get another Boston... They just had it. Boston just had it, man. It was like, 2 years ago they had it? Rangers... I feel like it's been a little bit since the Rangers have been in one, to be fair. Yeah, it was when the Rangers and Devils played. I forgot what year that was. Or was it Sabres? It was like something weird. It was like Rangers Sabres or something. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. I don't know. I don't know where I'd want it to be next. Because it's got to be in a place that's cold enough to do an outdoor rink. I mean, maybe they could pull it off in Florida. Also, why can't we have Canadian teams in it? It's never Canadian teams. Like, why can't we have like Toronto Winnipeg Winter Classic or something like that? That would get viewership. I tell you what. But yeah, if it has to be an American team, like you could do Buffalo, but Buffalo sucks. Detroit sucks. Washington, actually, I know the Capitals, they used to be in it quite a bit when it first started, but Washington and I don't know, have Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia hasn't done a Winter Classic in a little bit. Washington, Philadelphia, in Washington. That could be something. Or in Philly, I don't care. If it's a Western Conference team, you could do Utah. I bet it gets cold, and you could have it somewhere in Utah and do an outdoor game. That'd actually be pretty sick. Utah and maybe a Colorado. I know Colorado did an outdoor game. Oh, what was that? It was like in Utah, at Salt Lake City. They did some outdoor thing there. It doesn't really work. Like LA is not cold enough. San Jose, Anaheim. Those aren't Vegas ain't cold enough. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If it ends up being Boston or the Rangers again, I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, that's fine if they want to do that. As long as they're giving out Stadium Series games to different teams, then whatever. But I do think they should include Canadian teams. Like imagine like a Boston and Montreal Winter Classic. That'd be sick. Good pressure here from Montreal. Soderblom with the save on Gooley. And Montreal, sorry, Chicago's going to get it out. Here's Taro Vinen. Shot there, steered away by Montembeau. Also, the Winter Classic of both teams. The Blues is an average team, and the Blackhawks is not a good team, and they're rebuilding. People are sick of watching the same teams all the time. I don't mind watching the same teams. It's just that, like, I don't know. I had no complaints about it. I liked it. Even though Chicago sucked, I will always watch the Winter Classic and love it. It's just so cool. I don't necessarily have a problem if it's the same team every year. As long as they're, they do the Stadium Series games and whatever. But I really do think they should include Canadian teams. I don't get this anti-Canadian agenda Gary Bettman has for the Winter Classic. Good couple looks here for Montreal. Soderblom had to make some good saves. He had a little diving poke check for Evans to try to poke it past Soderblom. Yeah, that's hard for Soderblom to read that, but he did perfectly. He's able to make the save. Just like the advertisement, goalies don't like tipping. That's such a great. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the NHL released like some advertisement about tipping and goalies, how they don't like tips. Like when you go to a restaurant and they turn the iPad at you and it says, "Do you want to tip 10%, 20%, 30%, or whatever?" During the intermission, you got to go on YouTube and find that. It's a great ad. If you're curious, Penn State Notre Dame at Wrigley Field right now, 1-1 game. Ohio State won the first game earlier today against Michigan. They have an upset. Honestly, Michigan, I think they're overrated. I think they're way overrated. Michigan's not as good as they are. I mean, the Gophers shut them out twice, and then I think they lost to Penn State or some other team and got shut out the following weekend. So I think they're overhyped, Michigan. Ever since Rutger left, the Michigan ain't the same. Da na 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 na. Is that Dancing Queen? Do do do. You are the dancing queen. Lord and stream, only 17. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. You are the dancing queen. I can't sing that high. I have to go with the baritone. Dancing queen. If anyone needs a baritone in a choir, I can sing baritone. Dancing queen, long and sweet, only 17. Bedard with a chance there, and it goes wide. 2:30 to go here in the second. The shots are very skewed. 28-18 for the Canadiens. Oh, here comes Chicago. Good pass. Better defense by what was that? Gooley with the little poke check. Oh, missed one. Lots of comments here. Donnell, I think the only time they had the Winter Classic on another day instead of January 1st was the 2023 Winter Classic between the Penguins and Bruins on the 2nd. Oh, you might be right, Donnell. You might be right. That's fine. I just think New Year's Eve, it's especially if the World Juniors are in North America, that's the World Juniors Day. You can't infiltrate that day if you're the NHL. You have to do it on New Year's Day or the day after, or honestly, have it be this weekend or something. Like, I don't care. Look out! Nazar coming in! What a stop by Montembeault. We're talking about how University of Michigan sucks right now. The Michigan Wolverine, Nazar, gets stoned by Mr. Montembeault. Great save. He tried to do the forehand backhand. Montembeault got that right pad and stuck it out very nicely. But I agree, Donnell. You can't infiltrate New Year's Eve. You gotta put it on another day, I think. That's fine. I wouldn't have that big of a issue with it if they did that. Here's Doc with it. We have 40 seconds to go here. Let's watch this. Here's Hudson. His shot gets blocked. I'm sensing Montreal getting a goal here and getting a goal late to tie it. Doc trying to find Suzuki up top for Hudson. Trying to keep it in. Yes, he does. Suzuki back up for Hudson. Dances at the point. That shot saved by Soderblom. Matheson gets taken down. Montreal wants to call. They ain't getting it. Hudson! Suzuki! Oh my gosh! What a stop by Soderblom. I thought it was an easy goal. Delayed penalty on Chicago, and that's going to do it for the second period. What a play that was for Montreal. Hudson to Suzuki, right in Ovechkin's office, and Soderblom read that perfectly. He read that like a book. Gets the blocker over, slides to the right post, and just slides over. That's an amazing save. I'm left speechless. I hope TSN shows this on the replay. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. Oh, there's a leg pad save. I think if Suzuki elevated it higher so it hit the top left of the net, it would have been a goal. But since he didn't, Soderblom was able to get his right pad over, leg pad. What a save. Well, we'll see what happens here in this third. You got to give it to Montreal. They're really pushing here to tie it. They'll do it, though. Chicago, I have no faith in Chicago's defense to hold on. You know, I trust the Honey Badger, Cole Caulfield, to tie this game up again. Comments. We'll do some comments, and then we'll take another little break. Donnell says the Winter Classic they are talking about was the Sabres and Rangers at Citi Field in 2018. I do remember that. Yes, I do. That one you are talking about was in 2014 with all 3 local New York teams. I remember that. Yes, I do. So the Islanders have never been in a Winter Classic then. Put the Islanders in it. If they put the Islanders in a Winter Classic, the viewership would be like 500,000 because it was like about 920K. 920,000 for this one between the Blues and Blackhawks. If the Islanders were in it, oh man, it'd be half that. It would totally be half that. But the Rangers played twice in that game. Rangers versus Devils, Rangers versus Islanders. I know I'm a diehard New York sports fan. I feel like Donnell, do you put that on your dating profile? Donnell Weaver, diehard New York sports fan. Or on your Twitter handle. That'd be a perfect catchphrase. My name's Donnell. I'm a New York sports fan. I'm an avid New York sports fan. That'd be perfect. Right, let's take a little break, people. That was fun. Chicago got the only goal, courtesy of Foligno. It was a tip shot, because as we goalies, we love tips. We absolutely love tipping. We do not like tipping. As Montembeau would agree with me. But yeah, it was a good tip by Foligno, and nothing Montembeau can do about either goals, honestly. The Bertuzzi one, backdoor play on a 5-on-3. What are you going to do as a goalie? But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I need to take a sip of my water. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, like the video if you're enjoying yourself so far. We got one more period to go. If not more, we could head to OT or shootout. But we'll see what happens. Follow us on our social media pages. At HockeyPodNet is the Insta and Twitter. If you want to check me out on Twitter, at Grant Akeem is my Twitter handle. Instagram, Tickety Talk, YouTube hand, everything. It's everything. You just type in my name and everything will pop up, probably. At this point. Thank you to the sponsors as well. We have DraftKings and Gametime. Use the same promo code for both, which is THPN. The only difference is with Gametime, because that's like a ticketing. It's kind of like a SeatGeek, Ticketmaster ordeal application you can download on your phone. I sound like such a grandpa. There's, instead of saying app, oh yeah, Gametime, there's an application. You go to the application store on your mobile device, you search Gametime in the search tab, you find Gametime, and then you download it, and it's like a Ticketmaster site, basically. But yeah, get $20 off your first purchase. So if you want to see Montreal or Chicago in person, you get $20 off, which is amazing. Especially if you're a poor college student out there, you got to take advantage of that for sure. Right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We'll be back for the start of the third period. We'll let the sponsors identify themselves. Do what you got to do. Get some snacks. Get some drinks. Don't drink too much if it's alcohol, right? I know it's Friday, but, let's try and be healthy. You got to let me know in the third period, has anybody failed on their New Year's resolution yet? Maybe it was to not drink. Maybe it was to exercise more or run or whatever. Have you already failed or are you good? It's day 3 of 2025. You got to let me know. We got to check in the third period. So we'll be back and we'll do our little check-in in the third in about 10 minutes or so. We'll see you then.
Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, opening day or opening night, comedy or concerts. With Gametime Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows.
What time is it?
It's game time.
Hello, everybody. We're back for the start of the third period. Puck has just dropped. You haven't missed anything. Don't you worry. Montreal is on the power play here for the next minute and 15. There we go. Had to let it tick down. 19:13 left here in the third. I am sucking on a ginger chew thing, so if I don't talk for a little bit, that's why. I love the little eating ginger. Good for digestion if you're into health or anything. Kind of spicy in your mouth, too. It's kind of making me sweat a little bit. Shout out ginger chews if you like ginger. Does make your mouth tingle a little bit. Shots by Slavkovsky. That was Nick Suzuki, actually. I think it hit the post. Let's watch this power play here before we talk about anything else. Here comes Chicago, though. 2-on-1, shorthanded. Shot by Mikheyev, and it ramps into the nosebleeds at United Center. There you go. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you are new, subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Smash the like button if you are enjoying yourself. Share this video out with as much people as you can, or as humanly possible. Whole point is to get as much people together as possible, interact, talk about the beautiful sport of hockey. Love it. Follow us on social media at HockeyPodNet is the Insta and Twitter. Check me out on Twitter at Grant Hakeem is my handle. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything. That's my name for everything. Thank you to the sponsors as well, Gametime and DraftKings. Do that same promo code for both THPN. Like I've been telling you all night. For Gametime, you get $20 off your first purchase, which is amazing. Shout out to Gametime for that. And there we go. I think that does it for the power play there. Interesting stat. Montreal is 1-13-0 when trailing heading into the third period. So that stat, all streaks are meant to be broken, but the odds are not in the favor of Montreal. Did Obi-Wan Kenobi say that? The odds are not in your favor. Some famous person said that from a movie. May the odds be in your favor or something like that. Someone can let me know in the comments section or the live chat. But definitely more lower scoring than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were in for like a 5-3, 5-4 game. You'll usually see that when, two teams who aren't that great are playing each other. But its defense has been pretty solid. Both goalies have had to do a little bit of work. Oh, they score! Pat Maroon. That had to be Mr. Pat Maroon. He got in the fight in the first period with Jack-Eye. Buries this one, and it's 3-1. And the mountain just got high for Montreal. I feel like I lose brain cells if I sing along with that. That's a good play. It was Donato backdoor feed for Maroon. As I was saying, the defense has been pretty solid for both teams. Montreal shits the bed there. And it's 3-1. We'll see if Montreal comes back from this. I don't know. I've never seen them come back from multiple goals like this in the third period, so. Shot here, saved by Montembeault. Again, nothing Montembeault can do. The first goal is pretty similar to that one where it was a backdoor feed for Bertuzzi. And then that other goal that Foligno had was tipped. So you can't blame Montembeault for any of these goals. So I better not see any Montembeault hate online. Cole Caulfield almost answered right away. They did this for the first goal. Or the second goal. Montreal responds the next shift by almost scoring. Yeah, the shot, 31-22 for Montreal. Here come they. Oh! Good save by Soderblom. I was less speechless. I was like, here they come. Oh my gosh. I thought he was offsides, but he was on. I gotta say though, the atmosphere, there's quite a bit of fans at United Center, and I don't mean to bash the beautiful city of Chicago. I love Chicago. It's like my second home. The crowd tonight, I don't know, pretty dead. Hasn't been any "Let's Go Hawks" chants or anything. It's Friday night in Chicago. Like, come on, let's get the energy up, people. Let's go here. Maybe they all the energy. They left all the energy at Wrigley on Tuesday. They don't have anything left. It was pretty. The atmosphere at Wrigley was pretty good. I got to admit. Here's Jake Evans. Shout out Kaiser. They just said he played at Duluth. I totally forgot about that from Andover. Shout out Kaiser. Go Bulldogs. We have another Bulldog because who's the guy on the Jets that's from Duluth? Sandberg? Oh, there's someone on Winnipeg Jets from Duluth. Well, I always say go Bulldogs when we do Jet streams. Go Bulldogs for Kaiser. They have a pretty poor team, Minnesota Duluth. But to update you at the Wrigley game, Penn State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame has scored to make it 2-1. If you're interested in college hockey, I know everybody watching is. So Notre Dame 2, Penn State 1. Ohio State did beat Michigan earlier today. Just like Canada, how they lost to Czechia late in the game, 30 seconds left. Ohio State scored to break the Michigan Wolverine hearts. Oh, Suzuki shot. It trickled past Soderblom. And that defenseman for Chicago sweeped it away like Swiper. He said Swiper, no swiping on today. That definitely saved a goal. Here's Jones trying to tip it. That was Donato with the tip. Oh, Slavkovsky, what is that? Here's a shot. Saved by Montembeault. It's still loose, and the referee finally blows it dead. And that was a terrible defensive play by Slavkovsky. He's got to do better there. But he is young. We are young. You know what's crazy? You know what band Fun that We Are Young song? It popped up on my Apple Music feeds of stuff to listen to. I forgot how good of a song that was because that came out when I was in middle school, and I really liked it. But just as I get older, I don't know, it didn't really come up ever. What a great song! We are young, so I set the world on fire. We can go brighter than the sun. Whoa, whoa. Tonight, we are young. That's such a good song. I've been listening to it a lot recently. It's really good. It brings back my childhood a little bit, too. And memories. Whenever I think of that song, I just think of, driving to some hockey tournament. When I hear that song. Because it came on the radio quite a bit on those road trips to, Canada, or I had some in Wisconsin. But, yeah. Shout out to Fun. That's a good band. February 12th, Frozen Face-Off. I can never remember when that came out. Or when that's going to start. Whatever. The Four Nations tournament. I hate the name of it. Four Nations. It's just a money grab for the NHL, honestly. Why can't we have a 6-team tournament or something? It has to be just 4 countries. Stupid. At least we're getting NHL players in the Olympics next year. Thank goodness for that. I'm just checking some college hockey scores here. Don't mind me. I know the Gophers are playing tonight. They're playing Mercyhurst, which is some shit team from the East Coast in the Atlantic Conference. Yeah, 5-2. It's a minute left. Okay. Gophers will win tonight, which is good. Any other games that are interesting? Wow, Duluth and Alaska Fairbanks, excuse me, the Nanooks. 2-2 game with 6:50 left in the third. That's crazy. That's big news. That'd be a big upset if the Nanooks could get points from that game. Anything else? Not really. Denver beat Maine. That's a big matchup this weekend. It was on ESPN. I'll probably have to watch those highlights later. Denver did beat Maine. Good for Denver. Someone on here before was a big Maine fan. And I said that, like, I don't know how I feel about Maine, if they're legit or not. They had, they're playing one of the best teams in the country in Denver and lost. So we'll see if they bounce back tomorrow. Good pressure here for Montreal. But nothing really that's intimidating for Soderblom. It's a lot of passing it around the box. That's got to be tripping. That's got to be tripping on Pat Maroon. It will be, yes. I was wondering. Montembeault hadn't gone to the bench yet, but it will be. So Montreal will go on the power play here. A big opportunity for the Canadiens to get back in the game. They're down by 2. Cut the lead in half here. Then we got a ball game then. So, yeah. Tripping. What's Montreal? There we go. We can hear me now, right? I don't know why. This software just does not like my microphone. Whenever I do anything on my own YouTube channel, I have no issues. Power play numbers. Montreal 8th at 82.7%. That's not bad. So we'll see if they can capitalize here. Chicago, surprisingly, is in 4th at 84.1. So that's pretty good for them. Here comes Dickinson for Chicago. Look out again. 2-on-1 for Chicago, but they decide to pass it back and kill the clock. Probably a smart thing to do, honestly. Kaiser will send it down. Montreal's got a minute left to work with here. But yeah, a lot of the big guys from Montreal have been kind of quiet tonight. I mean, Caulfield's performed. I haven't noticed a lot of Suzuki or Gallagher. Kirby Dach, I think, has been kind of noticeable. Lane Hudson has had a pretty solid game. But here's Matheson. He's kind of quarterbacking this power play. Heineman for Matheson. Here's Kirby Dach. Will we do the dance? Here's Matheson. Over the glass. Oh my gosh! Heineman! Get that on SportsCenter. Matheson clobbers it off the glass, and I believe Heineman batted that out of the air. Once it hit the glass, it bounced right to him, but he batted it out of the air. We need to confirm this on the replay. The referees, are they going to look at this for high stick? They might be challenging this, Chicago, but let's look. Off the glass, and it pops right to Heineman. I think that's below the crossbar. That can't be a high stick. Oh yeah, that was like at elbow height. What a play by Heineman. Off the glass, bats it out of the air. And, just like how they drew it up on that power play, right? Matheson booted off the glass, and we'll have Heineman backdoor. It's batted out of the air. Exactly how Coach drew it up there, Martin St. Louis. What a goal. Hopefully that makes SportsCenter. Maybe not in America, but TSN. Hopefully that makes the top 10 plays tonight. Amazing goal there by Heineman. And Montreal's right back in it. They get their power play goal. 1-goal game, 1-shot game. We'll see if they can tie this puppy up and maybe get OT. Like I said at the start of the stream, Montreal's only 3 points back of a playoff spot. So 2 points tonight to the worst team in the league. You got to get it tonight. You got to get those 2 points. It'd be massive. They'd only be 1 point back of Ottawa, who is playing tonight. Let me do a little scoreboard update. The next commercial break, we'll do a scoreboard update. But I can tell you right now, Ottawa is losing 3-0. So if Montreal did lose today, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Holding penalty on Montreal. Gooley to the box for holding, and Montreal is going to go on the PK. Chicago to the power play. I don't know why my computer's acting funny here. Fascinating. I don't know what's going on. Jada says, chance of a comeback. Jada, we're seeing it happen right now. We're seeing it happen right now. It's going to happen. It's going to go. We're going to OT. Montreal's going to tie it with like 30 seconds left. That's the theme that's been going around hockey, apparently. Everyone scores with 30 seconds left to tie it or to win the game. And we're heading to OT, and Montreal will get the 2 points tonight. You can book that to DraftKings, Jada. Book that. And I'm never wrong. My predictions, I got to have one of the best hit rates on my predictions. Like, people, if you watch this channel a lot, my hit rates on predictions are pretty solid. Especially for, like, overtimes or, like, the player who's going to score in overtime. That had to happen a few times this season, so you got to trust me. Trust me with all of your money. Maybe not that much, but you know what I mean. Okay, scoreboard update. We have some final scores here. The Florida Panthers got a 3-2 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins in a shootout. So Pittsburgh does get a point tonight, which is big for them because they're chasing Ottawa for that final wild card spot. Like I mentioned before, Ottawa's losing 3-0. The Blues are pounding the Senators right now. I probably shouldn't have said that because the Senators is like a person. I shouldn't say they're pounding a person. That's what she said. They're beating the Senators 3-0. Brandon Saad with a couple, and then Braden Shen with the first one. The Oilers have a 2-0 lead over the Anaheim Ducks. That's in the middle of the second. The Nashville Predators are scoreless with the Vancouver Canucks. That game just started in beautiful downtown Vancouver, British Columbia. The best place in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, here we go. Chicago to the power play. I think if they score here, it's kind of game over. So we'll see how this kill does. That shot by Bertuzzi goes wide. Reminder, Chicago has the 4th best power play in the entire NHL. And they already have 1 tonight, right? Or 2. This thing should tell me. Good save by Mountain Bow. That's this song that I'm humming. It's Germany's goal song from the World Juniors. So good. I looked it up, and it's Major Tom by some German artists. Carrier and Matheson getting into it with some Blackhawks players. But yeah, they really love that backdoor Bertuzzi play, Chicago. They really like that. But I'm just trying to see how many... Yeah, one power play goal. So they're 1 for how many? 4? Chicago, 1 for 4? 1 for 5, excuse me. 1 for 5. Montreal's 1 for 4. Quite a bit of penalties tonight, my goodness. Ron says, I'm going to trust you. Yeah, I told you, trust me. You got to trust me. Thank you, Ron. There was one stream where we were doing Islanders and St. Louis Blues, and I said Jake Neighbors is going to win this game in overtime. You can head to my Twitter and Instagram if you want. It's just Grant Akeem. And I clipped it up, but I predicted that Jake Neighbors in overtime, and it did happen. Last week, if you were with me for the Canada-Latvia game for the World Juniors, I didn't make I predicted Canada was going to win that, but like I hinted at like Latvia might upset here, right? I kind of hinted at that. And as the game went on, I was like, I think Latvia is going to take this one. And they ended up winning in a shootout. But that was crazy. What a legendary night last Friday was. Last Friday night. Is that Katy Perry? Last Friday night. We're 5-on-5. Good kill by Montreal. 7:20 to go. Still a one-shot game. Man, I can hear people whistling. That's how dead it is at United Center tonight. What's going on? Nazar will dump it in for Chicago, and they'll go off for a change. We're nearing squeaky bum time. I say like 5 minutes and under is like squeaky bum time when it gets tight. The game, you clench your butt cheeks as the game's really tight. I mean, we have a close game here. Mikheyev sends it down. Shot 35-24 for Montreal. Here's Kirby Dach. Shot goes way wide. And Chicago's going to break it out. If you're just tuning in, people, I posed this question earlier on. World Juniors, you got Finland, Sweden in the first game tomorrow, and then you got USA and Czechia in the second game. Who you got? What's your predictions? In my opinion, it's got to be Finland in that first game, and it's got to be the United States. They've looked so good this tournament. Besides that game against Finland, it was a tight game, but it was pretty good. I think it'll be USA Finland for sure. And then in terms of who's going to win that game, the preliminary round game went to overtime. It was 3-3, I think, and then we lost in the shootouts. So we lost in overtime. Excuse me. I don't know. I really have I have good vibes about this American team. I really do. And I think they'll get the job done and go back to back because they've never gone back to back before, which is crazy to think about. They never have. So we shall see. Finland, like I said, is kind of like the Americans' bogey team. I used to be Russia. I remember for the longest time, the U.S. just could not beat Russia. Like we had some streak against Russia in like the quarterfinals or in elimination games that we just cannot beat them. And it took Troy Terry. I remember this specifically. It was Troy Terry in a shootout. He went like 3 times in the shootout, a la Jonathan Taves and TJ Oshie, and won the game for us. I think that was a quarterfinal game. No, that was the semifinal game. That was to get to the gold medal game. And then we beat Canada in a shootout the next night for gold. So yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, for the World Juniors, like, I think they got to get rid of the shootout rule for the gold medal. I think that's just a shitty way to decide who wins it. I just don't like that at all. Jimmy says unfortunate loss there. Are you talking about Canada at the World Juniors? Unfortunate loss? I mean, Canada's problem, I think they had talented enough players, but it was just like they have no brain cells. Like, just don't take penalty. It's not that hard. It really isn't that. It's not that hard to not take penalties. Like, they were taking this knucklehead penalties, like mean penalties, high sticking penalties, like in the offensive zone. Too many men penalties. It's just like, use your brains, you kids. Use your brains. I don't know what the education system is like in Canada, but those kids apparently didn't receive it in terms of just being smart and intelligent, because they were taking dumb penalties. And it cost them. Every game, it cost them. Every single one of them. Like they get momentum going, they get a goal, and then like 2 shifts later, they take a dumb penalty, and it just that kept happening. But here we go. Under 5 minutes to go here in this one. 3-2 Chicago. Montreal looking to get a goal in squeaky bum time. Let's see if they can. Here's Matheson. We'll send it in. You got to take Montembeault out at about 2 minutes or so. That'd be me if I'm Martin St. Louis. Here's Matheson. Lane Hutson for Suzuki. Matheson, the bomb. Glove save by Soderblom. That's his 8th shot of the game, Mike Matheson. That's unbelievable. That Heineman goal, by the way. I mean, we got to clip that, or someone's got to clip that on Twitter. That was really, really good. I'm sure Montreal's Twitter did something about that. Montreal Expos has a Twitter page, really? Here we go. Oh, Lane Hutson gets poke checked, and Foligno's going to clear it down. Oh, yeah, it is on Twitter. Here's Taylor Hall. At the post! Oh, the referee says it went in. I'm not sure if it did or not. Wow. Well, I think the first shot hit the post, and then they kept poking at it, and I think it did go in. But it's Nick Foligno for the moment. 4-2 lead for Chicago. We got to see this on the replay. Terrible defense again. Wow, it did hit the post, so that didn't go in. Montembeault thought it was a goal. He kind of quit playing, and then Foligno just barely pokes it in. Wow. That's a tough one for Montreal. I think, are they reviewing it? They're reviewing for something. Oh no, we're good. It's a good goal. Oh, that's a tough break. That's such a fluke goal. But it is poor defense, so you can't let Foligno get a clear shot like that in the slot. Well, a 2-goal lead again for Chicago. 3:50 to go. If I'm a betting man, I think Chicago is going to win. Jack Guy shot goes wide there. Here's Connor Bedard. What's crazy to me is that like Bedard's like the star player on Chicago, right? But like I watched the Winter Classic game and this game. I've barely noticed the kid at all. Like I've barely noticed Connor Bedard unless like it's like a power play or something. Like, and when he has the puck, it's not like, oh my gosh, look at him dangle through guys like, you know, like Connor McDavid does or an Austin Matthews. It's very weird. The guys, especially the Winter Classic game, he was unnoticeable. Here's Caulfield. Oh, he missed the net. Honey Badger. He's looking for a second. Montembeault to the bench? Yes. You got to for Montreal. Here's Lane Hutson. Slavkovsky whiffed on it. To look out. Here's Foligno. The hat trick. Goes just wide. No icing. Here's Matheson. You can't drop past it at the blue line, people. What are we doing? Here's Donato. Mr. Harvard. Teravainen whiffed on it. Kirby Doc. One-man breakout. Out wide for Caulfield. Blocker saved by Soderblom. Here's Seth Jones. Good play there. Craig Smith will send it down. No icing. Probably because Kirby Doc didn't try to go for it. That's why they called icing there. Yeah, Montreal just not on the same page. These Montreal players right now. It's just not clicking right now. Puck goes out of play here with like a minute 40 something left. This party, dance everybody, I'll rock in this party. But yeah, I found the clip, the Heineman goal on Twitter. I'm gonna repost that. That was a sick goal. Man, doing emojis on a keyboard is terrible. Because you gotta scroll and find it. Usually, like on your phone, you can just like look and search it, but now I gotta dig to find the emoji I want to use. 2025 problems here. Gotta scroll to find the emoji you want. Face with open mouth. That works. face with open mouth. Okay, let's post that. I'm such a grandpa with Twitter. You gotta talk it out when you tweet. There you go. So you head to my Twitter at Granakeem. I posted that Heineman goal if you want to check it out. It's out of midair. Hit the glass out of midair. That's like one of those fun plays. Well, here we go. Face off in front of Soderblom. A minute 40 to go. Montreal, I mean, they put lots of shots on tonight. 39 shots. And Soderblom, I mean, a lot of the shots were perimeter shots, I'll be honest. I don't think Soderblom was like peppered with like high danger scoring chances, but he's had to be solid tonight for sure. Especially that one save at the end of the second. That was a big time save. Or he reached to the right post and got his leg pad on it. I think it was Suzuki who shot it. Here's Matheson, near side. Here's Lane Hudson, down low. Oh, it's Suzuki for Gallagher, and he just tips it wide. Matheson for Hudson. Last minute to go here. Empty net for Montreal. They need 2 in 50 seconds. Matheson, down low. Heineman just whiffed on it, and Chicago's going to ice it here. 44.9. Still 2-1 Notre Dame, by the way, if you're college hockey buffs out there. Still 2-1. Not a big crowd, though, I'll be honest, at Wrigley. Not a big crowd. And that ice looks pretty rough. It's probably not as good as when the NHL guys skated on it on Tuesday. Puck just squeaks through. 30 seconds to go. At this point, Montreal's looking for a consolation goal. And the drop pass exits the zone. Hudson will send it in deep. 15 to go. Foligno looking, he's on a hat trick. Will he get a hat trick? He will not. And there'll be icing with 7.5 to go. Zitherek says, you're a Canadiens fan now. Well, they're one of the teams I do root for, yes, but Islanders are my favorite. They're like my diehard team. And then it'd be Winnipeg, Vancouver. They're kind of tied for second, and then I'll chuck in Montreal as like my third favorite. So, yes, I do like quite a bit of teams, but Islanders will always be my number one team. And that's going to do it. Unfortunate loss for the Montreal Canadiens. It's a game that you expected to... you'd be expected to win, given where you are in the standings and given Chicago is on a 5-game losing streak. That's a tough one for Montreal to drop. But good news, Ottawa did lose tonight. So in terms of the standings, can we take a look? This should show me live standings. Eastern Conference, so the screen went black on my ends. There we go. Still 3-point gap for the playoff spot, so no harm, no foul for the Canadiens. Still 3 points back of Ottawa. Pittsburgh now, I believe they lost in a shootout tonight, so they get the loser point. So now they have 40 points, which is tied with Ottawa for that 8th and final spot in the East. You got Philly, Columbus, Montreal, Detroit, and I think we can exile the Rangers, the Islanders, and Buffalo. I don't think they're making it. I think Detroit and up has a possibility of making it. But yeah, unfortunate loss. It was a golden chance for Montreal to make up ground, but no harm, no foul. It remains at 3 points. For Chicago, you get 2 points, so now you're only 2 back of San Jose and Nashville to try and get out of being the worst team in the league. So good news there. I guess bad news if you want to get a nice draft pick or a higher draft pick in the 2025 draft. Maybe you could get Higgins on the U.S. team. He's been electric for Team USA. But yeah, that's the game. 4-2 Chicago. We'll wrap it up here. I do appreciate everybody who tuned in and commented. It was so much fun, even though Montreal did lose. If you're new, subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, smash the like button, bell icons, all that jazz. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. @HockeyPodNet is the handle. Check me out on Twitter. @GrantHakeem is my Twitter handle, the Instagram handle, the Tickety Talk, the everything. If you do want to check me out on YouTube, I do post hockey content and I do gaming live streams and that kind of stuff. So I can link it here in the live chat if you're interested. If you want to check me out, I might be live this weekend for gaming. We shall see. I'll let you know. Gametime and DraftKings. Thank you to both of you guys for the sponsoring the video. Use promo code THPN when you do sign up for DraftKings and Gametime. And then with Gametime, $20 off your first purchase. Use it. It's a great deal. If you want to go see a game in person, you got to use it. Before we go, let's do 3 stars of the game like we always do as tradition on this channel. My official 3 stars of the game. I think I'd like to give an honorable mention to Lane Hudson. I think he had a solid game, but I don't think good enough to be a top 3 star. But I'll give him an honorable mention, Lane Hudson. My first star tonight. Sorry, we'll start first. We got to start with the 3rd star. 3rd star tonight. Let's give it to Heineman. Bats the puck out of the air. That's worthy enough for a star, in my opinion. That was great. My 2nd star, probably, let's give it to Pat Maroon. Got in a fight, got a goal. Good for Pat Maroon. My 1st star, it's got to be Nick Foligno, right? 2 goals tonight. Solid performance. Also, honorable mention to Soderblom. I thought he had a great night in net for Chicago. So there you go. Lane Hudson and Soderblom, honorable mentions. Who was my 3rd star again? Heineman. And then Maroon, 2nd star. Foligno, 1st star. There you go. A lot of stars we're handing out tonight. But yeah, there you go. And that's it. That's the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. The next stream for me will likely be next Friday. We'll figure that out later, but we'll be live on here next Friday for another NHL game. I'd like to wish all of you a happy new year. Hopefully it started off pretty well and you're keeping up with your resolutions. It is day 3. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekends. And if you're a World Juniors fan, hopefully Team USA gets the job done and they win that gold medal on Sunday. Worst case scenario, they'll play for bronze, but hopefully we can beat Czechia and then possibly beat Finland for the gold. Go USA. And before we go, we have one comment. Zorex says bye. I always like to end the streams by saying it is such a crazy world out there. If you turn on the news, you're just bombarded with insanity that's going on in the United States and I guess the world in general. So I always like to say I'm sending love, like it says back there, from me to you and to everybody around the world that could use some love right now because it's crazy. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, night, and weekend. Go USA, and I'll speak to you soon, everybody.